All right. Hey guys, Miss Jeffords here, coming at you with just a quick refresher. I felt bad because after we were done with class, I thought, man, I should have had an example for them. So this is a for the why of where assignment, and I wanted to give you guys a example that I came up with that would hopefully help you with this. Excuse me, I've got a little allergy action today. So the first word you guys had was place. And so you were asked to give a definition, a picture, and then a description of your picture. So for our example, or excuse me, for our definition, it's just a specific location on Earth. That is as simple as it can be. Everywhere on Earth is a place. So the picture I chose is our lovely town, Fountain, Colorado. So you can see here. So this is an aerial shot. We have Fountain here. And then this is actually the high school. You guys can see, at least if I can get my little pointer on. There you go. So this is the high school. I know it's blurry right here. And so this is simply put, there is no other place in the world in this location than Fountain. So it's just like Fountain is a place. My description of my picture, I put Fountain, Colorado is located 7 miles south of Colorado Springs off of I-25. So we know that the interstate is the big road that puts our location 7 miles south of Colorado Springs. Okay, region. So the simple definition for region is a group of places or states or countries that share at least one common characteristic. So in global studies, we'll talk about like global regions. So for example, Mexico, even though it's physically located in North America, culturally and regionally, it is part of Latin America because of Spanish, Catholicism, shared history, shared peoples. So Mexico has a lot more in common with Central and South America than it does with the United States or Canada. So for this example, using Fountain as my example, I put a picture of the Front Range. So this is the state of Colorado here. And then Fountain is located like right in this area, right here along this like blue line. And I put for the description, Fountain, Colorado is located in the Front Range region. These cities are connected by I-25 and are on the east side of the Rocky Mountains. So we have these green things are the Rocky Mountains, beautiful big mountains out the window. And then we have this area, this region in Colorado called the Front Range. It pretty much stretches from Pueblo all the way north to Fort Collins. And you can see here, like this is Denver right here. This is Boulder right here. And then you get into like Castle Rock area here, Colorado Springs, Fountain, and then Pueblo. So again, what all of these cities share is we are connected by the same highway. So it's relatively easy to travel. And all of our cities are situated on the east side of the Rocky Mountains. All right, scale. Scale is simply how large or small the area that you're talking about is compared to the entire Earth. So scale can be like tiny, tiny local scale, or you can be talking about something that happens on a global, like all over the world scale. So the example I chose for this one is our beautiful Fountain Fort Carson High School. So for my description, I put Fountain Fort Carson High School is an important part of the Fountain community. Many things happen here that don't happen anywhere else in the city. So the scale I would be talking about is relatively small. Like Fountain Fort Carson High School, it's a pretty small group of people to have to look at. You're dealing with, an area that only certain things happen in. So if I was to blow out that scale, I could talk about things that happen in southern Colorado, which would be everywhere from basically Colorado Springs all the way down to Pueblo. So you just see all of a sudden the scale of what I'm dealing with just got a lot bigger. Then I could say, okay, on a state scale, so everybody in Colorado we're looking at, that's a bigger scale. Then we could go to like national scale, the United States. Then we could go to like global scale, which would be the whole world. So simply, again, scale is like how zoomed in specific are you getting, or how like broad and wide. And again, our high school, it would be an example of fairly small scale because there's only one of it and certain things only happen here. All right, space. This is not outer space. This is geographic space. And simply put, it is the space, or space is how far apart two locations are, like what is in between those things. So everyone's favorite crazy store, IKEA, if you've ever been to the IKEA store in Denver. So from our school or the stadium, I know it got cut off down here, it's 70.7 miles. So there are 70.7 miles of space between our high school and IKEA. So obviously that limits, I don't go to IKEA very often, but it is certainly also not so far that I would never go. So that's different. That's an interesting conception. So space is simply basically how much distance or, space is there between one location and another. The farther away things are from each other, usually the less interaction there is. So people in Fountain go to IKEA less likely than probably people who live in Denver. My sister-in-law, my husband's sister lives in Denver. I swear she's at IKEA like every couple of weeks. I go maybe once a year. I think it's been a couple of years since I've even been. So there we go. And then the final one is connection. So simply put, the relationship between places that have space between them. So basically, if you are two places that are far apart, how are you connected? As the 21st century, that's what we're at right now. We have advanced technology. We are able to travel. We are able to use internet and social media to connect with places around the world. So for this one, what I chose to do is my description is this is a map showing all the cities you can fly from the Colorado Springs Airport. So you have the little Colorado Springs Airport here, and then they have all these lines going out showing where you can fly nonstop. So that's connection, right? From Fountain to the airport is like an 8-minute drive. And I get to the airport, and then I can basically go anywhere in the United States that this map gets me to. And so obviously we still, even though we are not close to a lot of places in the United States, we can get to them through our connectivity. If I was to go to Denver International Airport, this map would be way more intense because Denver is such a huge airport hub. They can fly to many, many more places. They can serve a way bigger area. But again, it's not like we're so isolated here in Fountain or Colorado Springs that we could never get out of here and go somewhere else. Okay, so that's all I wanted to do. I just can't reemphasize enough, do not overthink this. When you are asked to write the definition, I want you to look back at the chart or the passage that I snipped from page 4 of your Rubenstein book, and I want you to summarize those. And you guys can look at like how I summarized it. I'm pointing at it here, compared to like what the textbook said. The textbook went blah, 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 and I went beep, bop, boop. Okay. Something else that might help, if you can focus in on one like central thing to do this on. So like I chose Fountain as my place, and then I did a map of Fountain, and I did, places that you can connect to from Fountain. That might help narrow this down. So I apologize if I wasn't clear on that before. Okay, I just wanted to put that out there. Please reach out if you guys have any questions, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.